Hello there, I'm here to make percent easy for you. First, let's start with the basics. What does percent mean? In mathematics, percent means over 100. For example, 2% is 2 over 100. But you know from basic mathematics that fraction means division. For example, 8 over 4 is 2. It means 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So whenever you see something percent, let's say 48%, it is 48 over 100. It means 48 divided by 100. So let's solve some simple problems. First, what is 15% of 100? We can say 15% is 15 over 100. Let me erase this part of the board. So for the first question, 15% is 15 over 100, as I told you. And of something or of 100 means 50% multiplied by 100. So it is a very, very easy calculation. How? You learn that this is a fraction, 15 times 100, and in the denominator we have 100 times 1, but 100 times 1 is just 100, and you can simplify the zeros here. These two goes away and you end up with 15. So let's go to the next question. What is the 20% of 150? So it is 20%, as I told you, it is 20 over 100 times 150. But I'm going to make it easier this time just by skipping this intermediate step. We are now good enough to know that here these zeros goes away and also these two goes away. So we end up with 2 times 15. If these simplifications are not simple for you, tell me in the comments and I'm going to make you understand everything. So if I see such comments, I will explain things again. So 2 times 15 is 30. And the last question is, what is 17% of 20? Oh, easy. 17 over 100 times 20. I'll let you do this problem for yourself. Now let's go to some more serious problems. The first problem says 20% of a number is 30. What is a number? So 20% of a number, let's call it x. 20% of the x is 30. And we are going to find x, the number, the unknown in this problem. So you know that there is a multiplication sign here. There should be, we can avoid it, but there should be one here. So we have 20x over 100 and it equals to 30. Now let's simplify. These two zeros goes away, but be careful, these two, you cannot simplify these two. You need to keep them. And one more step, 2 divided by 2 is 1, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have 1x over 5 is 30 over 1. We can do this. We can multiply x by 1, which is 1 times x, which is x, equals to 5 times 30, which 5 times 30. So x is 150. So the next question tells us, in a video game, the player's health drops by 10%. Originally, their HP was 125. how much health do they have now? So 10% of the health drops. So in the first place, they had 125 units of health. And when it dropped, you need to subtract. So 10% of the original health dropped. Okay, so we get 125 minus these two again go away, and you have 125 minus 12.5. How? Ask me in the comments. If you do not understand what happened here, ask me in the comment and I'll explain it to you. So I'll let you to do this subtraction by yourself and end up with the health that the player have now. Going to the next question, 25% of a number plus the number itself is 150. What does that mean? 25% of a number, again, let's call that number x, plus the number itself, another x here, because we called the number x. Now 25% of that number plus that number. Okay, these should be 150. We need to find x. First, we need to simplify the left-hand side. But here we have 25, and we have 25, we have 100. You can simplify this fraction. How? If you divide 100 by 25, you get 4. Do you agree? So it gives you 1 and it gives you 4, and in the end we have 1 over 4 of x plus 1x is 150. Let's forget about x and call them apples. So you have one apple and a quarter of an apple. How, you need to find the apple here. So we can say 1 over 4 plus 1 gives us 1 plus, I don't know if you really know how to do these calculations, so I'm going to explain. Okay, so we have 1 over 4 here plus 1 here, and we need to add these two fractions. We do this. Okay, because 1 is simply 1 over 1. And we make the denominators the same thing. We make the denominators a common thing. How? We multiply this denominator by 4. Why? Because we want it to be similar or identical to this one. But whatever you do to the denominator, you should do exactly the same thing to the numerator. So I multiply the numerator by 4 too. So we have a fraction, which is 4, a common denominator here, and 1 here, plus sign here, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay? So in the end, we have 5 over 4. On the left-hand side, we have 5 over 4 of x, and this equals to 150. And as I told you in the previous example, we can write it as 5x over 4, which is equal to 150. Now, again, do this. Multiply 5x by 1 gives you 5x, equality sign, and multiply 4 by 150, which gives you, let's leave it like that, 4 times 150. So what is x now? X is 4 times 150 over 5. Why? Because we need to isolate x here. We talked about solving linear equation before in our previous videos. You can go to those videos and learn how to solve linear equations. All right, so I'll let you to simplify this fraction, and you can leave your answer in the comments. Going to the next problems. It says 40% of a number is equal to the number minus 70 plus 18. What is the number? So we need to turn this sentence to a mathematical form. How? Again, 40% of a number, let's call the number x, is equal to the number, it was x, minus 70 plus 18. So we make an equation out of a sentence, right? Now it is a linear equation. We learned how to solve it, and we can do it now. We can simplify things a little bit. How? We have, again, 40 here and 100 in the denominator. We can tell these two zeros just go away. And 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So on the left hand side, I have 2 over 5 of x. On the right hand side, we have x minus 70 plus 18. So this is a very easy linear equation. I trust that you can solve it by yourself, so I'm going to go to the next problem. It says 80% of a test score is 72. What was the full score? Again, the main thing here is to turn this sentence to an equation, to something mathematically correct. So 80%, as I told you, 80% simply means 80 over 100. So 80% of the score is 72. Let's call the full score x. 80% of it is 72. What was the full score? Again, I bet you can solve it really quickly. So I'm going to leave it for you. I'm going to the next question because the length of the video is already, I think, long. Not too long, but long. The next question asks, 20% of a number is equal to 10% of the same number plus 24. 20% of a number, which is x, is equal to 10% of the same number plus 24. What is the number? It is a linear equation, and it is really easy to solve. And again, I'm pretty sure that you can do it. Next and last question asks, a machine loses 10% of its efficiency every year. Its original efficiency was 20 of something. We don't care about the unit here, but imagine that it was 20 units of something. What will it be after 2 years? We're going to determine the efficiency of the engine or the machine after 2 years. But in the first year, it loses 10% of its efficiency, which was 200 units, and it means that you need to subtract again 10% of the original efficiency, which was 200. So let's simplify again. This 0 goes away with that one, this with that one. Or you might want to say that I would like to simplify these two 0 with these two. It's okay. And in the end, you end up with 200 minus 10 times 2, which is 20. And it gives you 180. That was for the first year. What about the second year? In the second year, the efficiency is not 200. It's 180. And for that year, the machine loses 10% of that efficiency. So we need to write 180 minus 10% of that efficiency. Okay, and let's simplify. These two goes away, these two goes away, and we end up with 180 minus 18. And you can do this simple calculation to end up with 162. So this is the efficiency of a machine after 2 years. If this video was useful for you, you can share with your friends, and if you have any question, I might invite you to leave your question in the comments, and like and save and everything is appreciated.